Well, good afternoon, everyone. We gather you've been having a few problems with our flash score audio commentary service, but hopefully we're with you now for Newcastle United against Nottingham Forest. We're 18 minutes into the game, not missed too much as you join us. Newcastle are on the attack. Gordon into the penalty area, put behind for a corner. Put behind for a corner by Santiago. Good attack down the left-hand side by Newcastle, who've had the better of the opening exchanges here on the back of 7 successive wins here at St James's Park, of course. We'll see this corner through and then I'll take you through the two sides very quickly. But it's a corner on the Newcastle left, with coming up to 19 minutes gone. Kieran Trippier, the usual set-piece man for Newcastle, going across to take this one. An in-swinger with his right foot. In it comes into the penalty area. Heads go up, breaks to the edge of the area. Cleared away by Nottingham Forest. Danilo with the clearance. And so a throw to Newcastle just inside Nottingham Forest territory. Thrown to Botman, who squares it along the centre line to Fabian Schär. Schär gets it back again, advances into Nottingham Forest territory. It's played back now to Fabian Schär, and now to Kieran Trippier, who's playing in the central area just to the right of the centre circle in the Newcastle half. Ball played forward, poked into Nottingham Forest territory. Here come Newcastle again down the left-hand side. Played to Gordon. Gordon plays it short. Poked through. Isak goes down. The referee's given a penalty. Well, we have drama here in the 20th minute. Alexander Isak turned away from his marker. Was sent to the ground. Chris Kavanagh, our referee today, pointed immediately to the spot. Well, I'm not sure looking at that. I'd like to see a close-up of that. Isak turned away. I'm not at all sure about that. I'm not sure there's any contact at all there whatsoever. Eddie Howe's appealed for it and it's been given on the field. Chris Kavanagh will now listen in to the VAR hub where we have Jared Gile on duty. I'm not sure there was any contact at all there. I have a feeling the Swede may have thrown himself on the floor, in which case he's going to get booked. I'm really not sure that Ola Aina made any contact at all. Chris Kavanagh still listening in, so they're taking a very close look at this. Jared Gile and the VAR hub. If it is contact, it is minimal. I mean, it was a very quick turn by Alexander Isak, so it wouldn't have needed much of a touch. And of course, having been given on the field, the debate is now whether it's a clear and obvious error. But we're still listening in. So VAR are scrutinising this decision very, very carefully indeed. We're seeing the incident again in slow motion. Well, I don't know. I'm not convinced there's any contact there at all. But I think the penalty decision's going to stand. So clearly there wasn't enough evidence to overrule the initial decision that gave the penalty. Well, I think Nuno Espirito Santo might have something to say about that at the end of this game. But as it is a penalty, and it will be the man who won the penalty, Alexander Isak, to step up against Turner. Here comes Isak and scores. Well, there's some debate about whether that should have been given, but it was given, and Isak took it with great aplomb. So on his first start for some while after injury, Alexander Isak has put Newcastle ahead again here at St James's Park. Just past the midway point of the first half, Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Alexander Isak from the spot. Well, while they come back to the centre spot and get ready to kick off again, I'll just give you the two sides. For Newcastle, it's Dubravka in goal, back four of Kieran Trippier, Sven Botman, Fabian Schär and Dan Burn. A midfield three of Lewis Miley, Bruno Guimaraes and Sean Longstaff, with Miguel Almiron, Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon up front. For Forest, it's Turner in goal, Ola Aina, Santiago, Niakita and Montiel. Danilo and Sangari screening that back four, and then Callum Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White and Anthony Elanga with Chris Wood up front. We've kicked off again, and Nottingham Forest have a throw about 5 yards inside their half on this near side, to be taken by Ola Aina. He throws it up the line. It's thrown in again. They gained a few yards from the first one. Newcastle just screened that out of play though. It's going to be a goal kick to Newcastle, which Dubravka takes quickly. Just touches off to Sven Botman, back in the side today. Forward to Fabian Schär. And Newcastle play it away from their right back position. Intercepted though by Niakita, who strides forward, plays the ball inside the fullback. Anthony Elanga was onto that quickly and put the ball across the box, but Dubravka dived to save, and he's got Newcastle moving forward again. They have it on the far side. Played in field to Botman, who sprays it left to right to Kieran Trippier over the halfway line. Plays the ball inside to Lewis Miley, I believe that is. It's played back to Fabian Schär. Now to Trippier on halfway, just in from this near touchline. Schär into the centre circle. Finds Longstaff. Played forward. That's a nice turn by Isak, and he's brought to ground. That's going to be the first booking of the game. That wasn't a good challenge by Sangari at all. He's in the book. So that's Chris Kavanagh's first bit of admin for what will be Wednesday morning. Sangari remonstrates with one of his teammates, but he's the man that committed the foul. Free kick taken. Here's Trippier on the near side. 25 yards from goal. Plays it infield to Isak. Isak back to Schär. Schär plays it to the right hand side. That's good play by Almiron. It's played wide to Gordon, who shoots. It's blocked. It's a good block too, because it was a firm shot from the left of the area. Forest now trying to launch a counter-attack with Anthony Elanga. He's brought down, and that could be the second booking of the day. And it's going to be a booking for Anthony Gordon for the trip on the far side on Anthony Elanga. He brought down the former Manchester United man. Anthony Gordon likes a booking. He's attracted quite a few this season. Not the best tackler, I don't think. Just after he'd had a shot which was blocked away. That would have tested Max Turner had Montiel not got the sliding challenge in. So Gordon in the book. Newcastle leading 1-0. Here's Turner clearing the ball to the halfway line. Heads go up, headed on by Morgan Gibbs-White. Chested down by Callum Hudson-Odoi, but he couldn't keep control of the ball. And Newcastle played it all the way back to Martin Dubravka. He's played it out to his right-hand side to Sven Botman. It's now played to Trippier. Trippier infield to Longstaff, who sweeps it out to the left-hand side. It's just too far ahead of Anthony Gordon. He can't keep it in. So it's a throw on the far side to Forest, taken by Montiel. Throws it in field. It's now come across to this to more central area, played forward towards the halfway line to Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White back to Santiago. Santiago back to Turner. Turner kicks it right-footed out to the far touchline, where it's nicely taken in by Montiel. Plays it inside to Sangari. He's in turn played it further forward, swept to this left-hand side, too far ahead of Callum Hudson-Odoi and out for a goal kick. Well, Forest just trying to clear their heads after the penalty incident. I think there'll be a lot of talk about that penalty incident after the game, because I'm not convinced it wasn't a dive by Alexander Isak. If you're listening to our broadcast, you can tweet me about that at Ellis_Red and let me know what you think of that. In the meantime, an attempted Newcastle clearance is charged down by Chris Wood, which means Newcastle have a throw about 10 yards from their right corner flag, which will be taken by Kieran Trippier. He's been told to go back a little bit by Chris Kavanagh because he was too far forward. He's now waiting for somebody to throw it into. He throws it backwards and Newcastle shank the ball out of play, courtesy of Fabian Schär. There seems to have been another card shown in the midst of all that. A card shown to Montiel, I think. We'll try and clarify that for you. In the meantime, Niakita is going to take this throw. It's literally 3 yards from Newcastle's right corner flag. Chris Kavanagh wants a word with Sven Botman and Chris Wood, who seem to be having a mutual wrestling match down by the near post. It's thrown in towards Wood. It's headed by Botman, but he only headed it across his own penalty area, and Elanga got the shot in and poked it wide. That's as close as Nottingham Forest have come. It could have been embarrassing for Botman after his defensive header went astray. In the meantime, Newcastle have won a free kick over on the far side, about 15 yards inside their half, 10 yards in from the far touchline. Morgan Gibbs-White wasn't impressed with the decision, but there wasn't much point appealing about it because it wasn't going to change. Here's Sven Botman, short of the centre circle, pokes it into the centre circle to Lewis Miley. Played forward again, nice turn, pushed out to the right hand side, further forward now, pushed across the box. Can Newcastle turn and get a shot in? No, they can't. It's hacked clear, not very far though, although now Forest might be able to run it out through Anthony Elanga. Morgan Gibbs-White picks it up, tries to sweep it out left to Callum Hudson-Odoi, but Schär did well and now brings the ball forward, only to give it away again. Here's Chris Wood in the centre circle, short ball to Danilo, back to the right back position. Here's Santiago laying it to Aina. Aina back to Santiago, now to the far side to Niakita. Niakita strides forward, reaches midway inside his half, but then turns back and plays it back to Turner, who's just outside his area. He gives it to Santiago once more. Santiago plays a left to right pass, headed away by Newcastle, not very far though. Here come Forest. They've almost reached the right edge of the area with Niakita. Niakita exchanges passes, gets it back again, plays it inside to Sangari. It's now come back to Niakita once more. Niakita plays it to his right to Morgan Gibbs-White, but they've been forced back to the halfway line. Sangari to the right of the centre circle, back into his own half to Niakita. Niakita all the way back to Turner, so that's good pressure from Newcastle. Turner clears right-footed over the halfway line, headed on. That's a good header on too. Here's a chance for Forest. They're in here on the right of the area. Shot comes in, saved by Dubravka. Didn't make the most of that, Anthony Elanga. Tried to open up his body and put it across Dubravka, but didn't get enough on it. I feel perhaps he should have put his laces through that. Here comes Gordon at the other end. Running at Montiel. Gordon looking to get to the byline, can't, so he comes back again to Guimaraes. Guimaraes plays it to Miguel Almiron, and it's come off a Nottingham Forest defender and behind for a corner. So a chance at one end for Anthony Elanga, and a quick counter-attack from Newcastle at the other. Almiron's cross hit one player and then another. Well, Elanga, to be fair to him, he went for the far corner. Dubravka did well. He got a left hand down, but I think Nuno Espirito Santo wants to know why he didn't put his laces through that chance, because he was in on the right of the area. Here's a corner kick to Newcastle, though, swung in by Trippier, headed away by Chris Wood. It's going to be Alexander Isak that retrieves it on this right hand side. Can he get to the byline? He's run into the penalty area. He's dinked the ball across. It's tipped over by Max Turner. I think he was a little bit greedy there, Isak. I think he had people to play that back to across the area. And he went for the dink. And Turner got up and poured it over the top. Not a difficult save for the former Arsenal man. Here's Trippier with a corner on the right. Swings it in. In it comes. It's over the head. Oh, there's a chance here. Oh, it's cleared off the line. Turner was in no man's land. The ball was headed over the top of him. I think it's Aina that's actually cleared it from the goal line. But here come Newcastle again. Almiron down on the byline. Can't cross it, so he goes back to Trippier. Trippier plays it down to Guimaraes. That's a nice back heel. Shot comes in. Shot blocked. Goes to the left-hand side of the area to Isak. Isak tries to come inside his man, chips it across the box, headed towards goal. Easy one for Turner. And Forest survive. That was Miley's header from Isak's chip across. There wasn't a lot of pace on Isak's ball, and Miley couldn't generate pace with a header, so it was easy for Turner. But earlier on, Aina pretty much got the ball off the line. Forest don't make anything of trying to clear the ball properly, though, and here's Guimaraes on the edge of the area. Forest clear it again towards the halfway line. Wood goes down, wins a free kick, did well, chested the ball down in front of himself, and a Newcastle foot brought him to ground. So it'll be a free kick to Nottingham Forest, just short of the centre circle. Played forward, but they only had one man up. Forest, I didn't see the point of taking it that quickly, because Elanga was isolated against four Newcastle defenders. Didn't do him much good. Here come Newcastle. Anthony Gordon running for the byline on the left-hand side. He did manage to pull the ball across, but Forest kept the ball in and played it off Isak and behind for a goal kick. So a few scares for Nottingham Forest, who are already a goal behind. We're seeing a replay of the corner, which Sangari actually got off the line. The ball had gone over Turner's head and put Forest in jeopardy, but they managed to clear. Forest with the ball up towards the halfway line, played further forward. Can Chris Wood get onto this on the far side? He can. He's got to play it back into his own half, though. Here's Sangari to the right of the centre circle. He plays it left to Aina. Aina further forward to Hudson-Odoi, who's hugging this left-hand touchline. He plays it infield to Sangari. Nice pass between the lines to Morgan Gibbs-White, and out to Hudson-Odoi on the left again. He's beaten his man. Can he put the ball across the box? He can. Not a particularly good clearance by Newcastle, but they finally managed to play it off Gibbs-White and behind for a goal kick. Nearly got themselves in a bit of a muddle there, but in the end, Lewis Miley shows good composure for a young man. Played it off Gibbs-White and behind for the goal kick. Well, St James's Park looks absolutely packed to the rafters on this Boxing Day, it has to be said. A few people escaping from the in-laws, perhaps. Who knows? Maybe you love your in-laws. Tell me that. LS_red. Here's Newcastle beginning another movement forward. It's come to Sven Botman. Plays it further forward to Miley, back to Fabian Schär, to Botman again, just forward of the D of his own 18-yard area. Takes it forward a few strides, plays it up to the halfway line. Now out to the left-hand side to Gordon, who's hugging the left touchline. He's midway through the half, he runs in field, gets nearer to the goal, lays it off to Guimaraes, but Guimaraes slips. So Forest can run it away with Sangari. Sangari playing the ball up the right-hand side. That's going to be too far ahead of Elanga, who turns round in frustration, remonstrates with his teammate. It's another chance for a counter-attack wasted. Here's Sven Botman. Botman plays it to his left, to Dan Burn, up to the halfway line for Newcastle on that far side. The Newcastle left, nice little 1-2. Played through. Will it break for Newcastle here? Guimaraes tried to latch onto it. Important Nottingham Forest intervention. Aina now down by the corner flag, can only put it out for a throw to Forest, 5 yards from Forest's right corner flag. Here's Guimaraes, gets it into the penalty area, he goes down. Referee says nothing doing. Guimaraes will pick himself up off the floor. Well, I don't know whether Guimaraes slipped there. I think we'll be generous to him and say that he lost his footing rather than deciding to dive and look for a penalty. Certainly wasn't one. Morgan Gibbs-White's now down on the ground. Forest have been given a free kick. Given a free kick about 20 yards from the halfway line. 25 yards maybe. Swung forward by Santiago to the right hand side. Here's Montiel, plays it infield, back to Niakita on the halfway line, forward to Sangari. Sangari turns, gives it back to Niakita, short of halfway. Sangari again, he's got plenty of Newcastle shirts for company, he chips it up the right hand side, but the Newcastle head wins the ball through Dan Burn, but Newcastle have lost it again. Here's Gibbs-White, central position. He might fancy a whack here, he does, but he's off target. He advanced to just outside the penalty area and had a crack, but it was also always swinging wide. And it went wide of the Dubravka's right-hand post. It was probably too high as well. 5 minutes to half-time. Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Here's Burn. It's played to the halfway line to Gordon, who swings it to the right. Finds Almiron in some space. Almiron galloping up the right-hand side. He's got Trippier overlapping. Trippier back to Almiron again. Almiron now midway inside the Forest half. Plays it to Trippier on the right touchline. Back to Almiron again. Almiron has to come all the way back to halfway to Sven Botman. Botman out to the far side. Ball forward to Isak. Isak couldn't take it in stride, and Elanga now has it on that far touchline, the Forest right. Plays it infield to Gibbs-White. Back to Sangari. Forward again, looking for Elanga, who chests it down in front of himself, but Burns got between him and the ball and clears up the left-hand side. Not very far though. Forest can play it forward again. Here's Gibbs-White playing it out to Elanga, who's to the right of the area. Plays it across the box, but that's easy for Dubravka, who dives and falls on the ball. Not quite sure whether he's in a yellow kit or a lime green kit. Somewhere between the two perhaps. He's just dropped the ball in front of Sven Botman, who plays a square pass to Fabian Schär. Schär back to Botman, who's in the D of his own 18-yard area. Steps forward out of it, lays a ball forward towards the halfway line to Isak. Isak turns on it, plays it to the right to Almiron. Here's Almiron attacking the space. He's found a little bit of room, got to the edge of the area, got the shot all wrong. It was a horrible shot in the end. Went high and wide to the left of the goal. It wasn't a bad little thrust by Almiron. He did well to get to the edge of the area. I don't know whether he slipped slightly as he went to shoot. Maybe he did. And that dispelled the danger really, because he never really looked like getting the shot right. Nottingham Forest have a throw about 6 or 7 yards from their own left corner flag. Ola Aina's going to take it as Forest trail by a goal to nil. Nuno Espirito Santo's second game in charge. They lost the first 3-2 on Saturday at home to Bournemouth. Here's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Purposeful run forward, 35 yards from goal. He's laid it forward to the left of the penalty area, found Anthony Elanga. He's come back to Morgan Gibbs-White, but the flag's gone up against Elanga for offside. So it'll come back for a free kick to to Newcastle. Yeah, Elanga was offside. He was waiting for a ball forward, made the run, didn't get it early enough. And by the time he got it, he was 5 yards offside. So a free kick to Newcastle, played back by Trippier to Martin Dubravka, just over a minute to half time. Botman plays it to his left, forward to Anthony Gordon. Nice turn, takes him away from Montiel. Montiel gets back goal side, but Gordon still has it, comes in field, swings it to the right hand side. Here's Almiron, feeds Trippier, who's in the area. Trippier pulls the ball back, well cleared. Got his feet right in a good position to make the clearance over this near touchline for a throw to Newcastle. Minute to half time, or a minute plus stoppage time at the end of the half. Trippier's doing his shoelace up. He needs to do it quickly because he doesn't want to be caught for wasting time. Still hasn't thrown the ball in. Finally does throw it in, back to Fabian Schär, almost just forward of the halfway line, just in from this near touchline. He played it forward to Almiron. Here's Almiron again, playing it square to Fabian Schär. Schär walks the ball forward a few yards, plays it to the near touchline to Trippier, back to Schär, back to Botman, may go all the way back to Dubravka, it doesn't. It's played to Dan Burn instead. Burn plays it forward to Longstaff. Longstaff to Schär, who's still short of the halfway line. Over the halfway line to Isak, out to this near side touchline to Trippier. Trippier tries to find Isak with the return ball, doesn't succeed, but they've lost it again here. Forest, played in field and intercepted by Forest. That was a chance for Newcastle. In the meantime, here's a counter-attack from Morgan Gibbs-White. He's got Elanga outside him. He's played it to Elanga, who will pull it across the box, and that's a goal. There's the equaliser for Chris Wood. What a good counter-attack that was by Nottingham Forest. Nuno Espirito Santo's delighted with that, claps his hands, and Nottingham Forest are level in first half stoppage time here at St James's Park. It was a really good counter-attack led by Morgan Gibbs-White, who was tripped, so it was a good advantage by referee Kavanagh. He advanced, played it down the right of the area to Elanga, who unselfishly squared it back. And with Dubravka out of position, Chris Wood had a simple tap in. And that's his second in as many games. Wood has levelled against his old club. Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 1. And we're all square. Nuno Espirito Santo really enjoyed that. A shake of the fist. Sean Longstaff looking disgruntled, but that's really good play from Nottingham Forest, and they've got level. And bearing in mind that I think there are question marks over the Newcastle penalty, there's probably some justice in that. We're here in Newcastle with a minute of stoppage time left in the half. Fabian Schär, short of the centre circle, square pass to Botman. Botman to Burn. Burn to the halfway line to Anthony Gordon. Gordon inside to Guimaraes. Guimaraes shakes off one tackle, doesn't shake off the second, but Gibbs White's challenge isn't a legal one. Guimaraes has gone down in some pain, just over the halfway line. He pulled the ball away from Sangari. In slid Gibbs White. He didn't get a touch on the ball. Came through the man, so rightly a free kick. I don't know whether VAR's looking at this, but I didn't see it as anything more than a foul, to be honest. But a chance for Trippier to put one last ball in the box before half-time. Newcastle have lost their lead. Can they get it back? Trippier with the free kick. Drifts it towards the edge of the 18-yard area. Headed on. Headed away by Nottingham Forest. We've played the 3 minutes, so we haven't got long. Can Newcastle get one more ball in the box? Guimaraes plays it out to Anthony Gordon. Back to Guimaraes again. Guimaraes on the halfway line, plays a square pass to Trippier. Trippier drifts the ball forward towards the left of the area. Up go the heads. It's going to run through to Almiron, who does well to turn on the ball, gets it into the area. Isak's shot is parried away by Turner, who then reaches it again before a Newcastle player can follow up, and Forest break down the other end. Here's Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's reached the left edge of the area, he's cut inside, tries the shot, Dubravka holds. Another good counter-attack by Forest. They nearly went behind at one end. Isak's header kept out by Turner, who then stooped to pour it away from Almiron as he was about to follow up. Good counter-attack by Forest. Half-time whistle's gone in the meantime. Well, that got lively towards the end. Alexander Isak put Newcastle ahead from the penalty spot after he was supposedly tripped by Ola Aina, but I'm not sure he was. He certainly stuck the penalty away with aplomb. But Forest were level before half-time. A rapier-like counter-thrust where Morgan Gibbs-White fed Anthony Elanga, and his ball across from the right was tapped into an empty net by Chris Wood, his second in as many games, and a strike against his old club. So we're all even here at St James's Park. Half-time, Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Join us for the second half shortly.
Chris Wood. In fact, it was Morgan Gibbs-White. It was so close from getting Nottingham Forest go-ahead goal. Anthony Alanga with a wonderful cross into the box. Gibbs-White was free with the header and it just drifted wide of the goal. It's won back by Newcastle in their defensive half now. It's Sven Botman just past the perimeter of the penalty area. Receiving in space was Sean Longstaff. And it's back with Dan Byrne on his left-hand side. Looping ball over the top out to the left-hand side. A very faint touch it was from Sean Longstaff, but he can't quite bring it down to the point in which he desired. Throw in for Nottingham Forest, midway point of their defensive half through Montiel. Up the line he goes, into the centre now is Gibbs-White, flicks it over. Now Danilo, one back by Newcastle in their attacking half. On his left-hand side, it's Isak, leaving it forward for Gordon in the box, cutting on his right. Manages to nutmeg, in fact, Niakate, but it's one back by Newcastle. This left-hand touchline, approaching the byline, it is Longstaff. To bring it into a central position now. It is just beyond the centre circle this time. On that right hand side now, the cross in by Trippier is off the back of Callum Hudson-Odoi. It will be a Newcastle corner. We'll see announcement arrive from Kieran Trippier, been arguably Newcastle's best in this game so far. Excellent at bringing up the ball up and down the park, down that right-hand flank. What can he deliver from this position? A fizz cross towards the back post. It's high, and it's high from Wood. And the foul given away, pushing the back from Anthony Gordon. And we'll see Newcastle United to compose themselves from a defensive position yet again. But Alexander Isak doing incredibly well going forward, and I think it was a step on the foot from Musa Niakate, which left Isak a little bit uneasy as he progressed the ball forward on that left-hand side. Left of centre, would you say? Niakate on that right-hand side now. Montiel looks to go up the line down that right-hand channel, searching for Alanga. It's up that left-hand side yet again. Now Gordon. And a tug of the shirt from Niakate, and a free kick goes the way of Newcastle United. And they're attacking half on that left-hand side. And who else but Kieran Trippier comes down to receive the ball. He will send this in on his right foot. Where will this be directed towards? We will only find out in a few moments. It'll be Kieran Trippier. Markers at the back post. Tall timber in the form of Sven Botman and Fabian Schär. Also standing over this one is the Paraguayan Almiron. He leaves it for Trippier. High ball to the back post. The header is there. It's into the box. Right into the arms of the American Matt Turner. And this will spur on Nottingham Forest to counter-attack here through Gibbs-White, who's got space on his left-hand side. Pass halfway. Overlapping is Aina. Asking for it in the back post is Alanga. Aina drives into the box. Past the byline. He gets across the way. It's falling. No! It's a fantastic save from Martin Dubravka. But I think they will call that for a stoppage. And it will be offside. But this was a great move. It was Danilo who got the shot off. Aina drives into the box past Alanga on the byline, flicked it across goal. And Danilo, but in fact it actually was a deflected shot from Dan Byrne, and Newcastle will go the other way with Isak in space. He flicks it out left for Anthony Gordon on the perimeter of the penalty area on his right foot. It is Gordon, central to find Bruno Guimaraes. Right hand side now is Trippier. Flicks it into the box. It's headed away. Now back with Gordon. It's Almiron in the box, and Niakate hands it down to Matt Turner. So we'll see what they can generate from this attacking opportunity. It's been a very scintillating form for Newcastle United in those attacking positions. And this game is really delivering end-to-end football, and that's what you want to see on Boxing Day. With a blockbuster afternoon for you on Flash Score, and evening, to be honest. Of course, Sheffield United versus Luton Town. That will prove to be a relegation 6-pointer. Luton having the opportunity to potentially lift themselves out of the relegation zone pending this current results. But Nottingham Forest will drive forward in the box. It is Morgan Gibbs-White and Anthony Elanga with the tame shot on goal. He's been in some decent form this campaign, the former Manchester United winger. Arrived permanently this summer. And Chris Wood with a good flick on Gibbs-White. Broke his way into the box. And beat past Gimrelesh, but Elanga had to put some more fire in that shot. Now past halfway in the centre circle for Newcastle is Sean Longstaff, who lunges in and now finds Miley just on halfway. Now they go down the right-hand touchline through Isak, driving in central now in space. He's got options to his right in the form of Trippier. Can he get the shot off past the byline? He can, to the back post, but it's Montiel who sends it out for a corner. And once again, this game is continuing to deliver, and you can see the Toonami are getting amongst it as well. You just feel as if there are more goals in this game for either manager. It is that next goal that will really set up things from a tactical standpoint. And now we'll see Trippier on this left-hand side deliver across, an in-swinger on his right foot. It's towards the near post, and it's Miner who does well. Now won again by Trippier on the edge of the box, gets the cross away. Still won by Newcastle. This time it is Miley twisting, turning, shot from Dan Burn, and Forest clear their lines, but not so far as Newcastle play it back to Dubravka, who's just out of his penalty box, and send along up to the right-hand side. But it's in by Forest. Now Sanagre in the centre circle now is Murillo, and space was Elanga, but a great lunging effort. I think it was Van Botman. Well done. Now Scher will receive on that right-hand side and play it back to his central position for Botman. And Dan Burn, who's come into a more central position as he unleashes Lewis Miley down that right-hand touchline. The midway point of Newcastle's attacking half centrally is Alexander Isak, who comes in deep to receive. He's got space and runners forward, but Elanga will now come forward, and Elanga will chase forward into centre circle. Elanga's got Chris Wood to his left, and Chris Wood might be through. He has to beat one defender, but Chris Wood goes on to his left, and Chris Wood, the Kiwi, has put Nottingham Forest up 2-1 against Newcastle. Two relegation-threatened sides are poised to cause immense trouble for Newcastle United. Oh my goodness gracious me. In his second game in charge, Nuno Espirito Santo is on the cusp of something brilliant for Nottingham Forest. This was a great take from Anthony Elanga, all the way inside his defensive half. He saw Chris Wood, and that's an absolutely exquisite ball out to that left-hand side. Wood turned onto his left, left his marker completely for dead, and finished with absolute aplomb into the bottom right corner. It was almost a chip of sorts. In fact, it was a chip. And Chris Wood, well, he's come to haunt his former side in the worst way possible. He's 32 years old, but he's got still plenty to deliver for Nottingham Forest. And that is the way to do it. See a double change from Newcastle coming soon as well. This is going to be an exhilarating remaining 40 minutes or so, 35 minutes of regulation time, and it will be a goal kick for Nottingham Forest through Matt Turner and Tino Livramento. I think Callum Wilson are being prepared to come on. We'll see confirmation of that double change now. Callum Wilson to come on. Off coming is Dan Burn, so it is going to be a very offensive-minded substitution. Tino Livramento, of course, the former Southampton right back. Miguel Almiron also coming off. He's not had the best of days in Paraguay, so Tino Livramento coming on now. Chance out the perimeter of the penalty area. Out to the left-hand side now is Sean Longstaff. Further left is Isak. He's switched there, it appears, for the remainder of this contest. Callum Wilson's going to take up a more central area, as you would expect. Livramento now. Out to the right-hand side now is Fabian Schär. Further right is Anthony Gordon. Looks to clip it into the box, and he'll win his side a throw-in. Trippier further right as they look to swing his way into the box. It is Miley again, twisting and turning onto his left and onto his right, and Morgan Gibbs-White sends it up forward. And Newcastle will take their time, and Matt Turner will be looking at Martin Dubravka, who's come all the way out of his box, and saying, well, why exactly are you doing that? It's up past halfway for Newcastle this time. For Fabian Schär in the centre circle now is Longstaff. Further left is Livramento, and he finds Isak approaching the left edge of the penalty area on his right foot. Now it is Guimaraes. Further left is Tino Livramento, back with Guimaraes approaching the perimeter of the penalty area on that left hand side. Livramento centrally again is Guimaraes, looking to break the space. Guimaraes finds option on his right, and is Kieran Trippier who sends it right into the palms of Matt Turner. And Forest say, you know what, we'll knock it up forward out to the right-hand side. And there is Anthony Elanga all alone on that right-hand touchline. Decides to roll it square, this time for Gibbs-White. Captain for today. Now Sanagre in the centre circle. As Forest play back into the defensive half. He's with Sanagre yet again. And Murillo sends a diagonal ball out to the right-hand side. The intended target was Gibbs-White, who is pressing. Dubravka sends it into the centre circle, and Wilson will win the header. Back with Guimaraes, the midway point of their defensive half. Newcastle United. Now it is with Sean Longstaff. Left hand side now, Livramento. Past halfway is Isak. In short is Longstaff, and Isak will receive on this left hand side. He keeps it in. Does he? No, he doesn't. The ball fully out on this left hand touchline. Well, where does this leave the table at the moment? Obviously, Nottingham Forest are in some relegation trouble. So keep them in 16th place. And then it's 3 points. That is the question. But as for Newcastle, they will further go into disarray. This might mean their third loss in 5 games for them. This might continue into 4 in 5 if this result remains the same. Now Montiel, at the point of Forest, attacking half on that right hand side is Wood. Looking to search for Elanga if he was available, but it's back into the box now. This time through Dubravka. Up he goes. On this left-hand side now for Forest. They draw back into their defensive half. In the centre circle now. Niakate. Just past halfway now. Out to the right-hand side, Montiel. Sending it all the way to Matt Turner, who just comes out of his box to receive. In short is Murillo. High ball over the top. And Chris Wood might have broken the press here, and he could go for his hat-trick. He sent the keeper the wrong way, and he finishes, does Chris Wood. And that is Nottingham Forest third. Would you believe it? A hat-trick for Chris Wood. Unbelievable. Nottingham Forest are just about to get a historic victory away from home at St James's Park. And that is a beautiful ball that has completely split the defence from Murillo. Chris Wood, take a bow. That is incredible. That is incredible striking acumen. He was most definitely onside. The Newcastle defence caught completely napping. And that is one of the craziest goal occurrences for Chris Wood this season, who in fact has only scored his 4 goals in this Premier League season from 3 games. A double against Luton, and now a hat-trick against Newcastle. Has put him up to 7 goals in 17 games, should I say. This is truly remarkable from Nottingham Forest, and that has been given as a goal. Chris Kavanagh has pointed to the centre circle, and Newcastle United are in all sorts. And it is the Kiwi marksman, Chris Wood. And for those who live in New Zealand that are watching this game and can't believe what they've just witnessed, Chris Wood has scored 3 goals against his former side and has left Martin Dubravka in a perilous position, not once, but twice in the same game. And you might think that, well, an injury crisis for Newcastle United, could this bring a new goalkeeper in January? Might Loris Karius take the sticks in the next fixture? Eddie Howe is not a happy man, it appears. And could the misery be piled on once more as Lenga nutmegs a Newcastle player? Now in the centre circle is Aina. Midway point of their defensive half is Nottingham Forest. And Newcastle have got a big task on their hands to bring themselves back in this game. And Livramento finds Isak. Receives him board again with the 2-touch on that left-hand side, but it's well defended by Niakate. Spirited performance from Nuno Espirito Santo's men. Only his 2nd game in charge. This is the best way to respond. And now Lewis Miley with a good touch in the midway point of Newcastle's attacking half. Miley yet again, turning on his right. He's got the movement, dare you say, of a Jude Bellingham-esque type player. Now sent it to the box. It's Guimaraes. It's Gordon, and he completely skies it over the bar. He was close to the byline, but he could have got the cross away. But Anthony Gordon, he really hasn't had the best game for the Magpies at all. Newcastle fans are absolutely stunned. They've been outplayed in this second half. And these 2 goals have really complicated things for Eddie Howe's side. Not a very good few weeks. His European position is slowly slipping away. Up the line they go down on that right-hand side to Nottingham Forest. And it's way out for a throw-in for Newcastle to take. Just in line with the penalty box on that left-hand side. Now sent to right. This time for Fabian Schär. Looks to bring it up on that right-hand side. And past halfway he does, the central defender. And now checking back into that centre half position is Kieran Trippier. Sent out to the left-hand side. Past halfway now is Livramento. And he goes back into the centre circle. Inside halfway for Newcastle. Out right now for Schär. Breaking pass from Schär, looking to find Callum Wilson, but excellently does well was Callum Hudson-Odoi. Gives away the throw-in for Newcastle. As you look at that previous goal that made it 3-0 to Forest, it was Chris Wood who just completely sold Dubravka for the 2nd time in about 10 minutes, which is truly remarkable. Midway point of the defensive half for Newcastle. It is through Alexander Isak now, past halfway. Botman. Past halfway, Newcastle operating with an extremely high line, and this could put them in all sorts. Longstaff with the switch out to the right-hand side with Kieran Trippier. Sends it across towards the back post. High header from Niakate. It's back into the box, and Sanabria gets it clear. Almost pinball. Thrown in by Schär. Back into the defensive half of Newcastle United. On that right-hand touchline is Schär. Further right is Trippier. Sliding ball through for Anthony Gordon, but Murillo will leave that out for a goal kick. A spirited performance from Nottingham Forest, who have had a really poor patch of form. Of course, they did sack manager Steve Cooper. Many thought he would be sacked last season after a poor start to the campaign, but he brought things back. Steve Cooper now is course, brought Nottingham Forest into the Premier League. And now here they are. A beautiful piece of skill from Sanagre will leave Anthony Elanga free. He looks right to the left-hand side, but that pass misplaced. And might see Fabian Schär break away through Anthony Gordon. Looks to enter the penalty area, roll across to Guimaraes. He does go to ground, and it's now with Schär in the box, out to the right-hand side. Gordon across the face of goal. It's Danilo who heads high. A player is still down for Newcastle United, and they might stop play here as Gibbs White is going to go through and played out to the left-hand side. Available is Callum Hudson-Odoi, again to Morgan Gibbs White, who beats past the goalkeeper perhaps. Got space towards the centre. This time it is Elanga who's free, and he's completely made a meal of it. My goodness. He had space in the box, and now Isak will drive forward on this left-hand side. He beats past one. Isak still going. Isak on his right foot enters the penalty area, shaping up a shot. Isak with a strike, and well defended by Nottingham Forest, and now go out for a corner. This is a blockbuster affair of epic proportions. Boxing Day delivering in droves, and it's only 1:30 p.m. Well, almost 2 o'clock, should I say, in England. And Kieran Trippier on his right foot will deliver an outswinger. What can he do from this position? Newcastle need a goal. It's towards the centre, headed on! Couldn't quite be flicked by Guimaraes, and Callum Wilson, well, he's actually the tallest attacker, managed to get ahead to it. He has been sort of riddled with injuries this season, but he sorely needs a goal to put himself back into goal-scoring form. That chance before was Gibbs White, who nearly beat Dubravka again, whose positioning was all off. And Elanga with a chip ball into the centre, and it was well defended by Livramento, all things considered. A double change from Newcastle opponents in very few moments, but it's Gibbs White in the box to Elanga with a strike on goal. That was deflected into the palms of Dubravka. Now rolls it short. And up the park they go. It's Gordon and Guimaraes past halfway in the centre. He's got space on the left for Isak. Isak will look to go to work on the Forest defenders. A clipped in ball towards the back post. Aina does well. The strike on goal from Louis Smiley just drifts away to the left. Babyface assassin Louis Smiley can deliver from range. We have seen him have a few pops in previous games. Just whisks past the goal of Matt Turner. And now we'll see this double change confirmed. Anthony Elanga has maybe made his final contribution. Still waiting to see who's actually coming off and who's coming on. Well, it will be Ryan Yates coming on. Ryan Yates will come on. Will be Ibrahim Sanagre. Also Gonzalo Montiel will come off as well. Ryan Yates, of course, the defensive midfielder for Nottingham Forest, is a youth product of this club as well. Joined the club when he was just a little boy. Joined the club in 2005, and also Nico Williams coming on as well, the former, of course, Liverpool fullback, arrived at Forest last campaign. So he will replace Montiel, and he's been struck back into action now. And now Wood finds it on the right-hand side, looking to return favour with Nico Williams. So he will replace Montiel, and he's been struck back into action now. And now Wood finds it at Forest last campaign. So he will replace Montiel, and he's been struck back into action now. now. Wood finds it on the right-hand side, looking to return favour with Nico Williams. But in Matt Turner, comes out of the box to receive. Joel Linton looks like he'll come on as well. Elenga with the touchdown to that right-hand side. Looking to defend was Nico Williams on Alexander Isak. So Joel Linton coming on. Striker turned midfielder. And his replacement, of course, is Sean Longstaff, who comes off. Throwing for Newcastle just beyond the halfway point on that left-hand side. Livramento, up the park he goes. Here's Callum Wilson. Now Niakate back into the box. Murillo, and the press from Newcastle is won out by the central defender Murillo, who drives in the centre circle. He's got space on the left, and he's still going. He looks left. In fact, he turns onto his right, leaves it forward for Ryan Yates to get the shot on goal. In fact, it was Morgan Gibbs-White who got in the way. But how about that move from the central defender? Dare I say, Joel Matip-esque. Now on this right-hand side, the Magpies strutting forward. It is Gordon into the box, across the face of goal. Free there is Alexander Isak! Can he poke it home? Gordon, no he can't! And the strike again from Miley, who just digs it into the ground. And I think this calls for a penalty or a foul. Who knows? Chris Kavanagh has some decisions to make. Well, Gordon flicked it across, and it was Isak who got the touchdown, the strike away. Well done. Good save from Turner. And then a goal-mouthed scramble ensued. Wilson just couldn't pummel it home. And Gordon, there might be a call here. Niakate's arms do go up, but I think that goes into the chest of Niakate upon second inspection. And into shoulder, so I think he's going to be all cleared for this. He can live another day. Matt Turner goes up, goes high. And the foul called against Joel Linton. And the cross football out on the right hand side now is Kieran Trippier, the midway point of Newcastle's attacking half. Won by Hudson-Odoi. Left head to the penalty area for Newcastle United's attacking half. Is Aina past halfway for Nottingham Forest. Turns back on that left hand side. He goes to ground and is awarded the free kick. And Bruno Guimaraes committing the foul. This is a neutral's dream, this fixture. Action upon action upon action. Played back into the box. Matt Turner. Nico Williams. Receives on that right hand side. Niakate plays it back into the box. Matt Turner. Further left is Aina. The midway point of Nottingham Forest attacking half. Zorgo past halfway. Left of centre. Gibbs-White now in transition. On that left-hand side now, available is Hudson-Odoi, the former Chelsea man. Rolls it short for Gibbs-White. And neatly leaves it for Odoi, who rolls it square. And now for Danilo. Further right. For Danilo. Further right is Nico Williams and Anthony Elanga now on that right-hand touchline. A rare spell of possession for Nottingham Forest, but in full flight, and usually he plays in a central area, but on the left he has been through for Callum Wilson. Ooh! He goes right into the... so there wasn't a sliding effort into Matt Turner, but no issue whatsoever. From Morgan Gibbs-White, who flicks it out to the right-hand side of Anthony Elanga in space. He's approaching the byline. Newcastle. Share. Williams will send it across towards the back post, but it's headed high by Newcastle. Now back with Nico Williams. Now Niakate on the halfway line plays it back. Should we say? That's with Share. In short for Miley on that right-hand side. Further right, Lewis Miley. And Fabian Share on halfway. Long ball over the top. And it's Alexander Isak in the box. Miley, nice interplay from the Magpies. It's Guimaraes approaching the byline. And Guimaraes again will look to drive into the box, but he's forced on the perimeter. He goes to ground. If he can deliver, 27 yards out. Oncoming will be Nicholas Dominguez. He's done it for England. He's done it for everyone. Well, it actually might be Fabian Share, the centre half. He might have a pop. Share, it's over the bar. For Newcastle as well, Lewis Hall making his way onto the park. Showing wondrous applause. Dominguez, of course, the Argentine. Newcastle United. The confirmation who he's replacing very soon. £7 million of add-ons. Scored against United. So, of course, the arrival on loan from Chelsea. Only 19 years of age and plenty of promise. So there's an obligation to buy for £28 million. Trippier now into the Nottingham Forest, looking to press yet again. Hall throws it in. And they'll race forward now. Trippier, there's an urgency on that right hand channel now. Further right now is Miley. Into the box is Gordon. Hall driving central to Fabian Schär. Past the centre circle now. It is Trippier. Olaina on this left-hand side now, cutting away at the midway point of Forest defensive half. Arms of Matt Turner. Only 10 minutes left for Forest to hold on. 10 vital minutes of football. It off a Newcastle player, Fabian Schär. Just outside of the perimeter, to the right hand side now. Goalkeeper Dubravka. Time Fabian Schär in the centre circle, driving up Park. He's with Joel Linton, twisting and turning away. And Matt Turner sends it forward, high and long up to the right hand side. Newcastle United. And Kieran Trippier was on the floor for Anthony Gordon. Last touch came off a Nottingham Forest player. So now we will see a corner for Newcastle. To Ryan Yates, maybe for time wasting. Isak. Nico Williams has actually got into the book. Lewis Hall. To Ryan Yates, maybe for time wasting. Isak, based on that right hand side for Livramento to send it across. It's rolled down on the floor, but it's down with Joel Linton yet again. He looked to impose himself a little bit too much. Advantage played, however, as Chris Wood is swung down. And now it's with Guimaraes, who just has a flick of the wrist on Ryan Yates, and he will go into the book for his actions. Guimaraes. It seems as if we'll have a Newcastle loss yet again. Williams also into the book. It's been a pretty regulatory second half besides the first 15 minutes or so, which was utter madness. You can see the fans are also exiting the stadium, very upset with what they've just witnessed. A hat-trick from Chris Wood. Who would have thought? As he receives down on this right-hand touch line. And a brilliant turn from Gibbs White. And Langer passed the ball, but Lewis Hall with a hit check on Gibbs White, who's just on the ground. We'll see Morgan Gibbs White send this in on his right foot. 25 yards out from goal. A very obtuse angle. What can he deliver from this position? Gibbs White into the centre. It's towards the back post, and Murillo just couldn't get his foot down. On this left-hand touchline now, it is Niakate, the centre halves, providing the technical acumen available. And now Danilo sends it into the feet of Ola Aina. Back to Matt Turner. Sends it high up. Past halfway now is Morgan Gibbs White in a central position. Wood with an excellent flick to Nico Williams, who's racing down that right hand side across towards the back post, but no one's available to Bradford can claim. Now swinging out to Guimaraes. Now past halfway from Newcastle. That was an awful pass into the attacking half. Seeing the yellow card awarded. To Fabian Schär, who's gone into the book. He will join Anthony Gordon and Bruno Guimaraes in that pursuit. I'm not trying to get booked for a second time. Now Gibbs White commits the foul. There's a lot of animosity that's really brewing at the moment. You have the midway point of their defensive half, Newcastle United out to that left hand side. It's Alexander Isak who will look to go to work. Now in the centre circle is Trippier. Further right is Hudson-Odoi, the former Chelsea man. Rolls it short for Gibbs White. And neatly leaves it for Odoi, who rolls it square. Now for Danilo. Further left is Hall. Driving forwards. Looking to slip it through, but he can't. Well, Eddie Howe might be a man under pressure. He's had a lot of injuries to contend with. Very difficult position to be in as a manager. Backed by a large group of supporters and also a consortium that continues to back his club. But they are definitely in a soul-searching position. A defeat at home, which has really disrupted a lot of their momentum going forward. We'll see them in 7th position and perhaps in 8th or 9th after the round has concluded. As for Forest fans, they are going to go happy going home, but it's Langer who was the first impetus and the second for the Chris Wood goals. 2 assists for him. And Molilo, the central defender, with the third. That's all she wrote, really, as Newcastle are closely coming to the realisation that this game is beyond their pursuits. Kuyate is going to come on for Murillo. So Joe Worrell as well. So Joe Worrell, of course, he's considered to be a Forest lifer, having joined the club in 2011 at the age of 14. Apart they go down this left-hand side as Lewis Hall, cutting on his left, 6 minutes of added time, shall we say. It's Joel Linton. That's Guimaraes. Flick towards the back post. Gordon was there, but it's well defended. Now it's Aina racing down that left-hand side, and Forest defensive half still. Breaks away past several Newcastle players. He's now went back by Guimaraes, and he has momentum going forward, but the foul is given towards the Magpies. And seemingly, I can't believe it, Ken Forest, as they'll try and absorb as much time as they possibly can. Anthony Langard, 5 assists for Forest this season, 9 goal contributions. United, of course, selling him for £15 million in the summer. Might they come to regret that decision? Who knows? Was rarely afforded opportunities under Eric Ten Hag last campaign, but he's been a revelation for Forest this season. Still so young, the Swede. Ball whipped in by Newcastle, but it's well defended by Forest, and it's back into the midway point of Newcastle's attacking half. It's Hall who might try his luck yet again. It's towards the back post, and it's Aina who flicks it away. Now it's Fabian Schär just across the byline on that right hand side. It's rolled short, and the cross in yet again. It's into the centre. It might fall for Isak. He's fair yards from goal in the box. It's Isak, and Matt Turner palms it away. Isak will receive again on the right edge of the penalty area. This time it is Hall. Back to Isak on that left edge of the penalty area. Isak towards the back post. He's all the way out of play. It'll be a goal kick for Nottingham Forest. We'll draw your attention to the upcoming matches for both sides. As for Newcastle United, they've got a pretty intriguing set of fixtures coming up. Of course, the FA Cup hotly anticipated clash with Sunderland occurring next weekend. Liverpool will be next Tuesday, followed by Manchester City and Aston Villa in the Premier League. So you can argue they have one of the hardest stretches in the Premier League. All sides currently sitting in the top 4. And Matt Turner sends it out to that right-hand side. Williams to the flick on. Now Chris Wood on the right-hand touchline. Sends up the right-hand side yet again for Williams. And Schär does well to defend. And sends it back into a central position for Hall. Nottingham Forest aren't done yet trying. As I look to try and mount an attack going forward. Further left now is Lewis Hall. Plays it on halfway for Schär. With the cross-field ball out to the right-hand side is Livramento, who keeps it down, manages to keep it just inside. As he rolls it short now, Gordon. Rolls it across the face now to Lewis Hall. Further left now is Joel Linton on left edge of the penalty area, going to work. Across the face of goal, it is Gordon! Oh my goodness! It nearly drifted into the bottom left corner, but it was a fantastic block from Nottingham Forest. And now rolled central yet again. This time it is Kieran Trippier. And Guimaraes is going to sprint forward and play it to the left, where Anthony Gordon is situated. Now Guimaraes running on his right. Now out to Miley, who plays it further right for Livramento. And Trippier will clip it in towards the back post. Nico Williams flicks it on out for a corner for Newcastle. They all but know their chances of an equalizer here are essentially going to dissipate. And it's Livramento towards the back post. Turner gets a flick to it. And it was Joe Worrell, in fact, who got the flick on. That would have been a certain goal for Newcastle United. Now on the left edge of the penalty area. Hall looking to flick it into the box. Wilson chasing, and Turner claims. And will dive onto the ground. Buy as much time as he can. He will savour these moments. As for Nottingham Forest, they've got a very, very tough set of fixtures coming up. Manchester United this Saturday. Nottingham Forest also face Blackpool in the FA Cup, Brentford and Arsenal in the Premier League. As we approach full time, 10 seconds left. Forest will also face off against Newcastle for a second time in only a few weeks' time. Nico Williams now, and it's been called full time. Nottingham Forest get their first win under new manager Nuno Espirito Santo. The manager bounce is a real thing, and it's occurring under the guise of the Portuguese contingent. In the back room, of course, Chris Wood, he will be going into the rooms a very happy man, and also with the match ball. 3 goals for him. Anthony Elanga with 2 assists as well. First huge win, and this is now 6 defeats in the last 7 games in all competitions for Newcastle United. They will have to go soul searching. Alexander Isak with that penalty in the 23rd minute. As for me and the Flash Score team, it's been a pleasure to have you join our coverage today. We'll be back very soon for some more English Premier League action, and today as well we've got all the Boxing Day matches covered for you.